not the start James Harden and the Philly team wanted in Game 1. The Heat rolled to a 106-92 victory over the Embiid-less Sixers. Harden struggled most of the game, 5 of 13 from the floor for 16 points. Here is Harden and Paul Reed postgame.
It's one game, but things can turn fast. So, the sooner we can correct the things that we can control, the better off we'll be. Obviously, we're missing Joe, but, it's out of our control, and we got to go out there and man up and be great. And I know we will do because we've been resilient.
We can definitely beat this team. I think we go out there, we be more physical than them and play more aggressive and keep them on their heels. They're going to fold.
A full house here today for the NBA playoffs, and there's Wendy joining us. Coach, let's get right to it. You just heard Paul Reed, what he had to say post-game, right? So even though it's the right message, would you want one of your players saying that post-game?
Again, I think it's who that player is. I appreciate and respect his message that he believes that they can go out and win. I think his choice of words about a team that's built on toughness like the Miami Heat are, about them that you want to put out there. But, as a coach, you support your guy. And you let him know you've got his back. And, you want your team believing that they can go out and get the job done.
Wendy, look, whatever Harden says, we all know that the Heat have good defenders and they were going to need big stuff from Harden to win. They didn't get it. Why do you think that is?
Respect the other Sixers, and they've completely attacked Harden. And in years past, you could set your whole defense to attack James Harden, and Harden could beat it a lot. He just can't, at this point in time, beat the defense. And Doc Rivers elected to start DeAndre Jordan, which, he believes in him. The players believe in him, but it was not an effective strategy. He got victimized at the defensive end, and he's the best screener. So if you don't trust Harden to get out of an ISO situation by just beating his man, you bring up your best screener to screen for him. The Heat are just double-teaming him, Max. They double-teamed him 9 times in this game, and if it was closer, they would have double-teamed him twice as much. And it's basically just a wager. They're wagering that the Phillies role players can't beat them, which they didn't last night, even though Tobias Harris had a very good game. Their outside shooters didn't deliver. They don't think Harden can overcome this defense, and he did not last night. The biggest stat to me, he only got up 13 shots. And I know the defense was set against him, but James Harden led the NBA in shots in 2019 and 20. He's never had trouble getting up shots. If he can't even get in position to get shots up, how can he possibly be the hero of the game?
J.J. Redick, I have a grand unified theory of James Harden that I put together based on something Coach said on the radio this morning, combined with stuff Legs has been talking about. Okay, a couple of years ago, they changed the rules, right? If the offensive player is looking to draw contact, they're not always going to give that guy the whistle. How's that going to affect James Harden? We'd never knew because he tried to play his way, and he successfully did, out of Houston. And then the following year, out of Brooklyn, the only time we've seen him play was not as the James Harden in Houston. He was more of a facilitator with shooters all around him in Brooklyn. So you have rules cutting against him, 2 more years of age, twice falling out of shape to get himself out of town. And now he finds himself on a team with no shooters. There's no J.J. Redick on this team, right? Where are the J.J. Redicks? So he is being framed to look worse than he is, and that's with a team that has half the defenders in the league who can shut him down on the same team in the Heat. That's my grand unified theory of what's happening to James Harden.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there, Max, because I don't know if that was one theory as it was 6 things.
But it's unified. I'm unifying all the different theories.
Again, I've said this a bunch over the last couple of weeks. We need to start looking at James Harden through the lens of who he is and not who he was. There's the rule changed to a degree, although he shot his fair share of free throws this year, as any non-Sixers fans watching a Sixers game can attest. But I do think, in terms of like the theory that he's lost a step, the advanced analytics, when you talk about the tracking data, that would also back that up. Mm-hmm. So he's got 13 years. He's got a lot of miles on his body. He's still an excellent playmaker. He's still an excellent facilitator. Do you want him shooting 25 times a game if he can't score efficiently? This complaint about him not shooting enough, I'm not sure that's the answer.
The spacing's not great, right? Because they don't have shooters on the team.
Well, this is what I think they should do then. I think they should go small for most of the game. with Tobias Harris.
5-0 at the 5?
So Tobias, well, you just said shooters.
Well, that would be the one non-shooter, right? You got to find someone playing defense.
George Niang, Tobias Harris, they had a bunch of success last night in the zone. There were 23 possessions they played of zone in the half court, 0.65 points per possession that the Heat scored on those possessions. In man-to-man, 71 possessions. In man-to-man in the half court, the Heat scored 1.13 points per possession. So let's double down on the zone. Let's spread the floor. Let's put all shooters out there. You're going to have to play Paul Reed some. I don't know that DeAndre Jordan is the answer in this playoff series.
Real quick, Coach, we saw Harden look like he rolled out of bed, showed up fat and out of shape, looking a hot mess in Brooklyn, rolled out of bed, 30 points a game with triple-doubles and everything. Again, he kind of showed up a hot mess in Philly. Is this just an issue of him getting into shape a little bit?
I wouldn't say it's a shape thing. I'd say it's an adjustment to a system. He went from the system in Houston being built completely around him to going to Brooklyn where he had to figure out, how do I play with two other superstars in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? And then flipping to now playing with another superstar who's unique in his own right in Joel Embiid. And the role and position that he had to play from being the guy to a facilitator in, a post-up, isolation, less pick and roll type game. So I think he's just going through learning how he can be most impactful in these moments.
I hear you also. James, get in shape. Let's get in a little better shape. A little better shape wouldn't kill anybody, Coach. That's all I'm saying. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.